Welcome to episode 4.5 of Gallifrey Pirate Radio. Please don't ask what happened to episode 4, because you're never going to find out. This episode, we're focusing on The Doctor's Wife by Neil Gaiman, and this one might run a little longer because of me, because it is a total love fest here for me, being a huge Doctor Who fan. But before we start, like always, let me just introduce our exciting group of panelists and their jazz hands. At the very end down there, we have Sex. Next to her, we have Clayton.
Hi.
Next to him, we have Liz. And then, of course, we have me, Davey Beauchamp. I'm not afraid to give my last name.
I'm not afraid either. You just never asked.
Oh, okay. Would you like to give your last name?
Maybe next episode.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so we'll start down there with Sex. What are your just basic thoughts about the episode? We'll go more in depth later, but I mean, what do you think about this episode?
Holy moly! It was amazing! I loved it so much, and I would watch it like a million more times. It was just so exciting to see the TARDIS in vocal form be able to communicate with the Doctor, even though it was short-lived. But I just like that concept, and it was just mind-blowing for me, being new to Doctor Who and just each episode getting like exponentially more amazing.
I think that it was pretty interesting because it provided us with two pieces of information we always suspected, but we get the first canon proof of one of these things and the second canon proof of the other. The first being that the Doctor has made out with his special police box. The other, of course, being that, yes, it is possible for a regeneration to trigger a gender swap. That one has been proven a second time now.
Second time?
Yeah.
What's the first?
Neil Gaiman says that the first one for him was in the first full Matt Smith episode, when Matt Smith's Doctor checks to see if he is a woman.
See, I have to totally disagree with you on this one. Because it's been almost 50 years, actually 48, or actually probably 47 some change, and not once until now has this ever been brought up. Because so far, every other regeneration of every other Time Lord that has ever been presented in the show has always remained the same sex. And plus, if we listen to what River Song said in the season finale of season 5, the Doctor lies.
Yeah, but there's no reason for him to lie to himself in a private moment.
Oh,
or
totally.
When telling a story about this funny thing that happened with an old friend this one time.
Dude could have been in drag.
Fair enough.
I just, you know, if there was...
It would be really constricting if, you know, male doctors were always bound to their maleness, even though they were really sick of it, and they went around in drag to try to convince the TARDIS or whatever, you know, next time, please, let me have boobs.
Well, I mean, it's... The thing with regeneration is it's totally independent of the TARDIS. It's something that Time Lords do. And so far, there's never been a case of gender swapping so far.
Dalek bumps.
Yes, that is a comedy. That was Curse of the Fatal Death. Also, actually written by Moffat, which was absolutely amazing. But I'm gonna have to agree to disagree with you on this one. I just don't think it's possible. I think that it was just the Doctor being the Doctor, trying to tell some crazy story to Amy and Rory, because he likes to lie and make shit up sometimes. But once we actually see it on the show, you know, I might be persuaded, but until I actually see that happen, I'm going to be hard-pressed.
I still say the only reason that we haven't seen the Doctor gender swap has something to do with his unique half-human nature.
Oh my god, here we go again. The Doctor is not half-human. That was the worst line in that... It was still pretty cool. American TV movie. And the reason why we've The
Are you
diehard
saying that all
fans.
humans are male?
No, but
Damn, I'm
sure it's
missing
doing.
some parts.
No, but I'm sure that is doing something pretty weird to his regeneration process, though. It gives him an excuse.
Yeah. Okay. Here I go. I'm going to spout out why.
Drum roll.
I've heard this. I choose to troll you.
Yeah, but I mean they haven't heard it yet, or they would have. But we digress. But okay.
It's gonna make like the 4th time you've told me this, and I didn't ask the first 2.
Yes, but you brought it up, so I'm telling. It's been speculated that the Doctor's regenerations can be influenced by those around him. And because he was dying on the operating table, and he has such, and a human was operating on him, and he has such a love for Earth and humanity that for some odd reason that helped influence the Doctor's regeneration and the Master claiming that he was half human, which it was a really bad line that they never should have included, but that's a justification for it, which I think could also be seen with Tennant's Doctor. The person he was around when he regenerated was Rose, which made him into a Doctor that could fall in love with her and also have her fall in love with. And then if we look at Matt Smith's Doctor, it's sort of...
Childlike.
He's sort of childlike. There's that wonderment, that fairy tale. I mean, River even says the reason why she doesn't like wizards and fairy tales because they always turn out to be the Doctor. And if you even go back to the 5th Doctor, that was his youngest regeneration at the time, coming from Tom Baker to Peter Davison. He was surrounded by all young companions, and possibility that influences regeneration to be somebody a bit more young, a bit more full of life, and looking at life differently. And you kind of see that in the Children in Need special, Time Shock. I think I got that title right, where we see the 10th Doctor meeting the 5th Doctor, and he's thanking him for being him because he was so different from his previous incarnations, which I'll be showing you guys at some point fairly soon. So, what about you, Liz? What did you think about the episode?
I have not seen Doctor Who in quite some time. A couple of years ago, I watched all of the... Eccleston Tennant?
Yeah.
Alright, I watched all of the Christopher Eccleston episodes in like a weekend, and then I haven't seen any since. So, it was really nice to see it again. That was my...
Rock on. Okay, and this is where I start spouting off why what I liked about this episode. Or actually, I should say what I think about this episode first. I'm going to have to agree with what my friend, Podcasting's Rich Sigford said. He said this was Neil Gaiman's love letter to Who. There was just so much love that Neil put into this episode. It was incredible. At times, I was choking up. I was getting teary-eyed for lots and lots of different reasons. Because Neil writes some of the most amazing dialogue ever written and then spoken. And I mean, they cast everybody incredibly well. But I'm going to start off about what I liked about this episode. You guys can interject. I want to go through some of the things that Neil paid homage to in this love letter he wrote. The first one being or at least the first one, the one I noticed was the cubes, where they were communicating from War Games, which we're currently watching. We haven't made it that far, but we're almost there. We're 3 episodes in of the 10-part story, so we're slowly making our way there.
Up to episode 9, where we'll finally understand.
Well, I mean, it's not so much of understanding. It's just something that hasn't been used in Who since then. It was just a way for them to sort of send mail.
That talked.
Yeah, basically,
well,
yeah.
If you could, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just my jealousy.
I do like how misleading they were about everything. The way that they keep throwing in all of these things like, oh, this is going to reference War Games, with this one thing that even people who've seen War Games aren't too likely to remember. No, the episode is actually about something entirely different. We're just lying to you until we get to the halfway point and see.
Yeah, I mean, because literally in War Games, I mean, the cubes are around, I think maybe 5-10 minutes at most. They're just a little side thing.
And they throw in the guy in the soldier's uniform.
Yeah, I mean...
There are all these little things that, if you're just watching trailers, lead you to think it's going in a very, very different direction.
And that's a great thing about Neil. I mean, he's that sort of author.
Especially because, you see the Doctor in the preview going, there's a Time Lord out there, and we're all like, yeah! And then you watch the episode, you're like, this is cool.
Yeah. Like I said, Neil's a phenomenal writer, and like I said, this is his love letter. I like the fact that he mentioned that he's rebuilt the TARDIS. That goes all the way back to John Pertwee, the third Doctor, because at one point he's the Time Lords basically take the TARDIS away from him, and he rebuilds it from scratch.
Okay.
Then we go to... There's price in there for the fourth Doctor, but I just didn't bother really looking for it. Then we have the deletion of parts of the TARDIS to get more thrust. That goes back to Calcervava and the fifth Doctor, along with the Cloister Bell. Because I think the Cloister Bell was first heard during that season. I can't remember for sure if it was before that.
I do love some of that someone that I'd seen online had pointed out that in about 50 years there's going to be fan outrage once they hit the 30th archived desktop, and then someone goes, oh no, they're never going to be able to have another control room again.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same thing that, if you want to talk about the number of things they could have, the Doctor's only supposed to originally regenerate 13 times because BBC never thought it would last this long. But if you actually go back now to this point, he's already gone past that point, but a lot of people don't realize it. There have been other incarnations of the Doctor within the shows, but that's for another time.
Maybe you could only regenerate 13 times because there were so many Time Lords, and now because there are fewer, all of the regenerations stack on him.
Well, the way it actually worked, they talk about this in the Five Doctors, is you have your base 13 regenerations, but you could increase your regenerations thereafter by one, taking over somebody else's body and getting another regeneration out of that. The Master did that at least once. Or it was also said in Five Doctors that the Time Lords themselves, like the real higher ups, like the President and stuff like that, could actually reinstill all 13 regenerations. So
Didn't the Master get a new set that way?
He was supposed to. Whether he got it or not, we don't know. It's just said in the episode, yes, we'll give you back your 13 regenerations. So I would like to think he did.
I know that Gaiman has said that in his opinion the whole thing is a law in the sense that the speed limit is a law, not in the sense the laws of physics are laws. That simply Time Lords are only supposed to get 13 incarnations. But if there's no one else around to stop you, you can potentially go on for as long as you want.